Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Arlene Diamco, the MultiDimensional MD. I'm a pediatrician and integrative physician and a cranial osteopath. And I'm here for another episode. And this time I'm going to talk about how to love yourself. Because when people are feeling really down or going through really big life challenges, one of the first questions that I get is, but how do I love myself? I mean, theoretically, cognitively, we understand, yeah, love yourself, just love yourself. But how? When you're spinning and feeling all the feels and in the intensities of things, where do you start? What are the steps? What can you do? So I'm going to walk you through some mind body exercises, some ways that I look at it and think of it, and talk my patients through it as well. And hopefully that helps you. Before I get started, there's a few announcements I have. We have a bunch of events coming up this weekend. We have Paint Talks Processing group activity, and it's you'll get to paint and express yourself and be able to get in touch with your emotions. That's going to be with Marianne Bodner this Saturday. If you want to sign up, then just go to my website, allworldshealth.com. We also have a tension and trauma release exercise workshop on I'm sorry, the Paint Talks workshop is on Sunday, and the tension and trauma release workshops is this Saturday. So you can find more information on my website, allworldshealth.com. We also have the Gathering of the Eagles, which is an amazing conference done with the Foundation for Living Medicine. And this is Dr. Gladys McGarry's foundation. She was a physician. She crossed over last year at almost 104 years old. And her last book, A Well-Lived Life, went absolutely viral. She did over 200 interviews on all these major podcasts. And so I invite you to join us. This is open to anyone really interested in holistic health, geared towards health professionals, but anyone is welcome to join. And we still have some scholarships available. So if there are any students or people early on in practice that are looking for scholarships, then please take a look and you can get in touch with me and I'll help direct you as to who to get in touch with. So just send a message to me on my website, allworldshealth.com. So back to our topic of how to love yourself. It's something that we spend our whole lives coming back to, how to love ourselves, how to love ourselves through any moment, how to love ourselves through going through difficult things happening to us, uh, things that we never thought that could happen, and still be able to come back to ourselves, look at ourselves, see ourselves, understand ourselves, and love ourselves through it. So the first thing is to understand silence versus stillness. Silence is not the same as stillness. Silence is the absence of external sound, but it's not representative of that inner silence. So stillness is more powerful. It's this inner peace that is sovereign to our soul and cannot be taken away. Let me say that again. Stillness is a powerful inner peace that is sovereign to our soul and cannot be taken away. Quiet can sometimes help us connect that which is within. And I think of this as a cocoon time. So anytime we're feeling like everything is kind of stripped away, it's that dark night of the soul. It's making ourselves return to ourselves. Anytime we're needing to rejuvenate, we can create a healing sanctuary for ourselves that includes silence so that you can hear the song of your soul. And that is the purpose of both quiet, that rest, that silence that can lead to this inner, that reconnection with your inner stillness, that connection to all that is, that connection to oneness, and that connection to the song of your soul, your pure essence that is always connected to all that is, to the stillness, to the greater oneness. And so anytime there's a lot going on and we're feeling things escalate and feeling all these intensities. So all of this energy is rising, rising, rising. We need some quiet, some rest, and some silence so that we can hear ourselves. Now, that leads us to how it's can be hard to hear ourselves. So it's to have some courage. There's a lot of courage involved here because between the silence and the stillness, we can be faced with so many aspects of ourselves that we've been avoiding. They are each worthy. There are hidden gems, really, that are misunderstood and waiting to be seen and understood, waiting to be validated. That angry part of you that wants to growl or roar is also a nourishing mama bear or nourishing lion and can help take care of you. That sad part within that can feel like this intimidating mountain of grief also has an infinite capacity to expand and understand the depths of humanity, including what you're going through, including what others are going through, including what the world is going through. Every part of you is worthy and valuable and deserving of love. This reminds me of the therapy, internal family systems. Every part of you has a purpose. And so it's up to us to uncover what that is. And that takes courage because these shadow parts of ourselves feel uncomfortable. And there's a reason for it. They are crying for our attention, they're crying to be seen. And so it takes courage to reach out to a part of yourself that is feeling growly, that is feeling like a puddle of tears, an ocean of tears, and still be able to like walk towards that, walk towards yourself, which is a strange thing to think about. It's just like always constantly walking towards yourself, even all of those parts that seem dark and scary, because there are parts of you that need to be hugged in, that are waiting for you. The third thing is to let yourself be both the child and the parent. And that's a paradox in itself. I love a good paradox because a paradox points to our nonlinear, our quantum nature. We are both a child of the divine with the free will of a parent. How can we understand both? How can we bring them together? What does the child need? How can the parent nourish? How can the parent nourish herself? For example, I want to be free to be myself, both silly and serious, creating with freedom of a child and nurturing of a parent. In doing so, we align with spirit, that greater stillness, infinite freedom, infinite trust and love, always caring. And we create with love in the world instead of more chaos and destruction. That is a distraction from our inner light. And so, with everything that's going on in the world today, we have to remind ourselves to come back to ourselves over and over again to be able to see our inner light so that we can function in a loving way. We can function from inner peace and not be responding with more chaos and spinning and dissociation. We need to be here for ourselves and for each other. The next is to understand that there are many dimensions to your being. There is not one dimension that explains all of your experience. You can be going through that dark night of the soul, and your higher self, that part that always has a pure connection to spirit, understands that, yes, this is what I need to take away all the distractions. So maybe I will see myself. You're literally like stripped down to the core of your being. And it's not that something, you don't wish or hope suffering on yourself or anyone else. It's not that you're hoping for a dark night of the soul, but if you're going through it, it is a call from your soul. If you're going through any big intense thing, it's your soul calling you. It's the stillness calling you, asking you to expand and to see a bigger perspective and to know that that part of you that is suffering so much and feeling all the intensities, that is not all of your experience. And first and foremost, you are a soul. And so there that again, that light of your soul, that stillness of your soul is sovereign to your soul and cannot be taken away or destroyed. And so let that be your guiding post always. And this, what feels like everything, what feels like such a big thing, isn't everything, isn't all of you, but it can sure feel like it. And that's why it takes some courage to go through and to see all the parts of yourself, even the shadow parts, to see the many dimensions of your being and to let those dimensions to expand and see more of them so that you can feel more whole and know that this big thing that you're going through is not all of you. And it is not all of your experience. There is so much more to you. So even though it feels like everything, it's really just the tip of the iceberg because you're this infinite being that can expand and expand and expand. Another thing I tell people to do is to notice their wings. And I know I've talked about this before, but there's so many ways we can talk about our wings. Notice your wings and their state as a clue to your current needs and state of being. So, first, it's, can you imagine your wings at all? Are they even apparent? Or do they still need some sprouting? Do you need to imagine where your wings might even sprout? Now, if you can imagine your wings, what do they look like? Are they small or are they big and symmetric? Does one side seem more down and injured? Do they want to wrap around you in a protective mode? Do they want to be quiet and just stay still by your sides? Or are they kind of feeling like they're ready to like spread out and take flight? So your mind might think you're ready to fly, but in your imagination, it can be hard to pry your wings open. You might be saying to yourself, "Come on, open." But you start to see that tug of war with yourself. Because if your mind's saying like open and your wings are saying like, no, I want to be like this, then you have to realize there's all these dimensions of yourself, and if they're at odds, then have some gentleness and understanding, because if the wings are in that cocoon mode, meaning they are lovingly wrapping around you and wanting to keep you safe in this cocoon, then you need to sit with them, to sit with yourself really, and to actively create this healing sanctuary where you can create this time and space for rejuvenation. If they are resting by your side, then take a moment, pause, look around, be aware of your own body sensations, be aware of your physical other sensations and what you're noticing around you. Look at the world around you, see the colors, see what's going on. And then if they're really ready to like spread out and take flight, have a longer vision. So this is the eagle vision, to be able to see from the mountaintop, to see from the sky and see the whole expanse of what is going on, so that you are moving purposefully with this long vision as you take flight. So you can even just with imagination of your wings, it's so interesting because your imagination will pop up a certain vision and you don't know exactly why at first until you sit with it. Why do you imagine your wings a certain way? So this is you speaking with you, and we can do it with this imagination exercise of just imagining your wings, understanding their state of being, and letting that be as symbolic, metaphorical for your current state of being, so that you can take care of yourself where you are, meet yourself at this moment, and take care of your current needs in the present, and not trying to take yourself out of that present and act as if you're already out there or in the past, like taking care of yourself in this moment so that you can align your mind, body, and spirit. All those dimensions of yourself, all these different parts of your consciousness can now come into focus and be more harmonious. And with that, you're going to have so much more efficiency in your life and start to walk that road, fly with more ease. And so these are small things. They may seem insignificant, but as you practice them, you will see they will tell you so much about yourself and help you really walk that path of ease because you're walking with spirit, with your soul. You recognize that you are a soul living this human experience. And then lastly is to imagine hugging yourself at every age. I love imagination exercises because to your brain, to your nervous system, it's as if you are actually doing it. So whether you find a photo of your little self or you imagine yourself at different ages, then just hug each age. And it can start with yourself as a baby, then as a child, then as a tween, teen, through the decades, through the 20s, 30s, and so forth, hugging yourself at every moment, especially recognizing those hard moments and saying to yourself, I love you. I love you. I love you. Imagine saying that to yourself at every moment in your life. And what's interesting is that science is starting to catch up, and we're starting to understand that time is not linear and that things in the future affect the present, affect the past, that it's hard for our ego minds to fully wrap around it because how is that even possible? But in this imagination practice, you can see how it's possible because when you imagine going back in time and hugging yourself at each of those moments, and you're letting yourself again be both the child and the parent, then you are giving yourself, nourishing yourself at different points in time. And it is affecting you all the way to now. It's affecting your past, it's affecting your present. It affects your future because if you live as with loving yourself at every stage, imagine your future is so much brighter. It is just infinitely expansive. And so we can take that quantum jump in with our imagination and affect past, present, and future. So if you think of tough times at each age, whether loneliness, sadness, anger, or could you always use more of, you can always use more love. So you will never finish with doing this exercise because if you take that quantum jump in your imagination, I love myself. I love you. I love you. I love you as a baby. I love you as a toddler. I love you in preschool. I love you in elementary school, in middle school, through puberty, through all the awkward years, if you had them, as most people do, through high school, through every age and beyond. I love you. I love you. I love you. Practice that. Do it for the next week and just see what you notice when you do that. If you have pictures of yourself when you were little, flip through them and then say to yourself at every stage, I love you. And if whether it was a happy time or a sad time, I love you. I love you. I love you. And it's funny because when you start doing that exercise and you imagine it, and even when I imagine it for myself, imagining hard things that I've gone through and saying that to myself, it brings tears to my eyes, and it's both tears of joy, happiness, but also the sadness because you're allowing yourself to recognize whatever you're feeling at different ages, different times in your life, and you're surrounding it with so much love, and that is how you can love yourself through each stage, through each age. If you need a visual and you have those photos, then go do it. Do it today. Don't waste any time. Go find those albums and start imagining that I love you and hugging yourself through every age. And come back here, comment, let me know what that does for you. I'm so curious to see what you might notice through your day and through your weeks and months as you do this practice over and over again. Imagine doing this for months, how your life would change. So that's my hope for all of you, that you love yourself through every stage, every state you're in, every age you're in, no matter what you are going through. And for me, I know whatever you are going through, and I don't know everything that you're going through, I love you too. And the more that we can say that to each other, and then the more we can bring that into the world. So lots of love to all of you. I believe in you, and I hope that you believe in you too. If you'd like to connect with me in other ways, you can on Instagram at All Worlds Health, on Facebook, All Worlds Health and Pediatrics, and through my website, allworldshealth.com. I send a e-love letter out, appropriately named, most weeks, and depending on my schedule, it'll usually be on Wednesdays. So lots of love to all of you. Please share this with anyone that you feel could need it, and really appreciate all of you for showing up here with me. Take care. Bye.